Walk into a room where real wealth exists, not new money, not loud success, but wealth that has been there for decades. Something feels different. No rush, no urgency, no visible anxiety about money. Strangely, no one seems impressed by high earners either. Big salaries don't stop conversations. Expensive titles don't command attention. Busy schedules don't signal importance. Instead, attention flows toward a different type of person. The one who can wait, the one who isn't rushed, the one who doesn't need to explain what they do. That difference is subtle, but it's deliberate. Why earning money doesn't change the room. In many places, income changes how people are treated. Earn more and people listen. Earn less and people interrupt. But in wealthy families, income barely registers. Why? And because income is not what defines position. A person can earn a lot and still be structurally weak, and families that last know how to spot that weakness instantly. The strange case of the high-earning struggler. There are people who earn extraordinary amounts of money and still live under pressure. Deadlines control them. Reputation controls them. Performance reviews control them. They can't slow down. They can't disappear. They can't say no easily. Despite the income, something is missing. Freedom. Wealthy families notice this gap early. They don't admire earnings. They study constraints. Busy is not powerful. Busyness is often mistaken for importance. But in long wealth families, busyness is a warning signal. Art busy means someone else controls your time. Someone else sets your pace. Someone else defines your value. High income often increases busyness. Power reduces it. This is where the separation quietly begins. Why paychecks create invisible dependence. Any income that must arrive on schedule creates dependency. Even large income. Miss a payment, lose a contract, damage reputation, and the structure shakes. Wealthy families treat this as risk, not because income is bad, but because reliance is dangerous. A question that shifts everything. In families that endure, a quiet question appears early. What happens if this stops? If the answer includes panic, urgency, or lifestyle collapse, then the income is not strength. It's exposure. Why visibility distorts judgment. High income attracts attention. Attention brings expectation. Expectation creates pressure. Pressure speeds decisions. Speed amplifies mistakes. Families that last try to keep decisions slow, even when income is high. That requires something income alone can't provide. The first untaught lesson. Children in wealthy families absorb an unspoken lesson. Money that must keep arriving is fragile. Money that arrives because you control position is different. No one explains this directly. It's observed. Why confusion begins early outside these families. Income and power are merged. Earn more arrow feels safer. Earn more arrow feel important. Earn more arrow feel in control. Inside wealthy families, this equation is quietly rejected because they've seen income vanish and power remain. When income changes, reactions reveal the truth. Some people panic immediately. Some scramble to replace what was lost. Some rush into the next opportunity without thinking. Others barely react, not because they don't care, but because nothing essential has moved. This difference explains why rich families never confuse income with power. The moment income fails. The test. Income is tested during disruption. A contract ends. A market shifts. A role disappears. For many people, everything tightens at once. Lifestyle, confidence, decision-making, sleep. That reaction exposes a hidden dependency. Wealthy families watch for this reaction carefully, because any income that destabilizes judgment when it changes was never power to begin with. It was leverage held by someone else. Why calm is the first signal of power. Power shows itself as calm under uncertainty. Not fake calm, not confidence theater. Real calm, the kind that doesn't rush to explain, the kind that doesn't immediately replace, the kind that waits. This calm is not personality, it is structural. When your position is intact, income fluctuations don't threaten identity. Families that last build this condition deliberately. Control points, not cash flow. Income is movement. Power is placement. Movement can stop. Placement remains. Wealthy families organize around control points, places where decisions are made, delayed, approved, or denied. Control points don't always pay immediately. Sometimes they pay nothing at all, but they determine outcomes. Income feeds lifestyle. Control shapes future income, and whether income is even necessary. This distinction is absorbed early in families that last. Why ownership changes how time feels. Ownership alters time. When you don't own position, time presses on you. Deadlines matter, reviews matter, momentum matters. When you own position, time slows. You can pause, you can delay, you can let others rush. High income rarely slows time. It usually accelerates it. That acceleration is dependence disguised as success. Wealthy families train themselves to notice this difference. Optionality, the quiet measure. Optionality is the ability to choose without penalty, to say no without fear, to wait without anxiety, to exit without collapse. Income often reduces optionality by tying lifestyle to continuity. Power restores optionality by removing urgency. Families that last optimize for optionality first, even when it means lower visible earnings. This choice confuses outsiders, but confusion is part of the protection. That's why power avoids attention. Attention creates expectations. Expectations create pressure. Pressure speeds decisions. Speed destroys leverage. Power stays quiet because quiet preserves flexibility. Influence that must announce itself is influence already weakening. Wealthy families don't advertise control points. They don't explain leverage. They don't display dependence. Silence keeps room to move. How children are conditioned without lectures. Children in wealthy families are not told income isn't power. They observe it. They notice who panics, who waits, who reacts emotionally, who doesn't. They see income fluctuate without crisis. They see decisions delayed without fear. They see calm rewarded. Over time, the lesson settles. Money that must keep coming is fragile. Position that can wait is strong. Notice why high income can delay real power. High income often delays structural thinking. Comfort softens urgency. Ease postpones strategy. When everything is working, there is no pressure to build control. Families that last are cautious with comfort, not because they reject enjoyment, but because they understand how easily comfort replaces leverage. The hidden cost of performance. Income tied to performance demands consistency. Consistency demands emotional regulation, reputation management, energy maintenance. This creates a fragile loop. One misstep can disrupt everything. Power avoids this loop. Power does not require constant proving. It does not need applause. It does not need explanation. Wealthy families notice who must perform to stay relevant and who does not. And when income becomes a liability, income becomes dangerous when you cannot pause it, you cannot reduce it, you cannot walk away from it. At that point, income dictates behavior, and anything that dictates behavior is power over you, not power you possess. Families that last design exits early, even before they are needed. The late realization. Eventually, the separation becomes clear, but only after years of observation. Income is motion. Power is position. Motion fluctuates. Position endures. Families that last protect position first. Income is allowed to rise, fall, or disappear. Identity does not move with it. Why this rule is never celebrated. This rule doesn't excite crowds. It doesn't motivate hustle. It doesn't reward effort visibly. It rewards patience, silence, structure. Public advice celebrates income, and private strategy protects power. That is why this separation is rarely explained openly. The final distinction stated plainly. Income answers the question, how much is coming in? Power answers the question, what happens if it stops? Wealthy families never confuse these questions. They build lives where the second answer does not depend on the first. Income can be impressive. Income can be useful. Income can be temporary. Power is quieter, less visible, more durable. Families that remain wealthy across generations learn early not to mistake motion for control. They let income move. They protect position. And that is why income and power are treated as separate things in families that last.